Hey, you guys, welcome once again to the Legacy of Learning. Quick question. Have you ever wondered how certain people with a bunch of stuff to do get it all done? And then as things come about, they're able to do those things as well. And at the end of it all, they have time left over to do everything else that they desire. I think these people have some kind of trick up their sleeve, or they have a time machine in their backyard or in their back room. No, these people have basically mastered their time. They've figured out the value of time, and they've also figured out how to focus, how to eliminate distractions, and also they have specific tools, tips, and techniques that they use to help control and manage their time. And that's exactly what the legacy of learning is all about. And if you're here, it is because you want to raise your GPA by at least 1 point in 2 semesters, as I purport in the book that I have for you guys, or you're a working adult and you're trying to get through a certification or some new skills that you need for work, or you simply are trying to enrich your life by learning something new. In either of those cases, in any of those cases, you would like to have the best results, which is you learn the best and you are able to regurgitate or use that information, and you're hoping to get through it more efficiently. And that's what mastering your time is all about, right? So let's talk focus. Focus, focus, focus. This is a funny thing with focus. You can actually focus on the wrong thing. So unless you have a list of goals and objectives, short term and long term, I dare say your environment is controlling you. You're not controlling your environment. That's why, because the next shiny thing that's beautiful that comes before your view, you then will focus on it. A list of goals and objectives, short term and long term, posted in a prominent place for you to see on a regular basis, helps you maintain that focus. The second thing is distractions, eliminating distractions. The number one distraction of all is the TV. It's designed to distract you. It's also designed to program you into certain social behavior, and also to incite you, encourage you to buy things that you don't necessarily need. That's all it's there for. It's there to distract you. It's designed to do so. So eliminate TV. If I were you, I wouldn't watch any TV at all unless it's a specific show that I've plotted and planned that I would watch based on mastering my time. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So that's the first distraction. The second distraction is the opposite sex. If you're dating and not courting, then you're wasting time. Dating is just an excuse to hook up with somebody and do you know what without long-term obligations. There was a time before where dating didn't exist. What we did is once we became mature and ready for time to find a mate, we courted. We showed up, the men showed up to a family member's house. They spent time with a lady, and before anything happened, they were locked into matrimony and on their way to starting a family, which, by the way, are the basic building blocks that all societies need to grow and move forward and for communities to be forged. So, I hate to tell you, ladies, what you're doing is running up your body count and losing your value. And men, you're risking having a child at a time where it may stunt your financial growth for the rest of your life. So those are the two things on the other side of that. If you want to interact socially with others, that's fine. But when it's time to get serious, make it serious and make it courting, not dating. Okay, enough on that. The next thing that's going to distract you, and I'm touching on some of the most touchy subjects. The next thing is family, including your mom if you're a boy or a man, because a single mother is going to have a great drag or lag on a man as he goes throughout his life. Why? Because the man who's supposed to be there isn't there, and the job of protecting and watching out and problem solving and showing up and looking over and all this stuff falls on that male or one of the males in the family. Now, there are circumstances where a parent or a loved one is in a situation where they actually need you. And in those circumstances, it's completely understandable. However, you do have a life to live. You need to sit down with everyone in the family, first of all, and tell them about your goals and objectives so they know exactly what's going on with you and where you're trying to get to in life so they can understand. And two, if there are things dragging on you that aren't necessary, eliminate them. That means if I'm the cobbler guy or the barbecue man or whatever it is that I do that they need me for this next party, if I don't have time for it based on my goals, lists, and objectives and all this other stuff, and it doesn't fall in my schedule, I can't do it. The answer is no. And in regards to a needy family member, the rest of the family has to help. You do your part, that falls on the necessity portion, and then everyone else has to jump in as well. It shouldn't fall just on you, okay? The fourth topic, and I know I'm going there, man, is friends. And yeah, I grew up with him. She makes me laugh. He's crazy. We have a bunch of fun together. We go out drinking. We do all this other stuff. But if they're not in line with your goals and objectives, then they're wasting your time. Now, there are times for friends, and you got to put them in those places. And we'll talk about that for tips, tools, and techniques after this. But while you're on the grind, doing what you're supposed to do, they're going to have to hear no as well. Or here's the best part about this being on your grind. Once your friends see you focused and moving in the right direction and motivated and seemingly unstoppable, guess what they're going to do? It's contagious. They're going to join in. So these friends that you normally hang out with, but if you're doing YouTube, he's going to pick up a camera and he's going to learn how to shoot while you do what you do in front of the camera. And here's where working together and building a future together with a friend really makes sense. So friends, put them in the right category. Now, let's talk about the practical tips, tools, and techniques to do it. What you're going to do is pull out a calendar. It starts somewhere around 6 in the morning and ending at 10. You're going to list all of your necessities, things that you must do. If you're a student, your classes, extracurricular activities, then you're studying, all right? If you're a working adult and you're going through a certification, a class, obviously the work. And then you're going to put down when you're going to take your classes. And then you have to come home, take care of your family. These are all necessities. Spend time with the spouse. And at the end of all these things that you have to do, no matter what your lifestyle is or where you are in your life journey, there's going to be the end of the day. And at the end of that day, what we do normally is we reach over to the thing called the boob tube and we start wasting time. Don't do that. I encourage you to go to your list of goals and objectives, short-term and long-term, and plug in an activity from that list. Okay? Move yourself forward. Grow. Learn, because the opposite of that is literally, what are we doing if we're not growing and learning? The opposite is we're fast forwarding to an unfulfilled death. So no, learning is growing, and we must grow or aspire to grow every day. There's a phrase that I learned, man, and I'm going to plug it in here because it was so insightful for me. It says, do the things you need to do today to become the person you need to be tomorrow. No long-term aspiration. Do the thing today. I know I can't get to where I need to be tomorrow if I don't do these things. And that's what got me going, man. And I said, you know what? This is it in a nutshell. And this is what I'm offering you in a nutshell to master your time so you can get the things you need to do today to be the man or woman you need to be, or girl or boy that you need to be tomorrow to get where you need to be ultimately in life. So I hope these tools, tips, and techniques. By the way, after you're done with all this list, I forgot the most important part is fun. No, I'm not a stickler. No, I'm not Ebenezer Scrooge. None of that. And I'm not crazy. If nothing else, this helped me have more fun than I ever had before. Why? Because fun is now also scheduled and designated. It's not happening randomly. So at the end of your week, I encourage you that you put in a fun activity. And you don't cheat. You don't partake in that fun activity during the week. You hold off and you keep it for that Friday or that Saturday where it belongs. Why? Because it moves you through your race of that week even more rapidly than you ever would expect. Because why? There's a reward at the end of that week, at the end of that month, at the end of that quarter. And I think that's how you should plan your rewards. and at the end of that long semester if you're in school. My semesters started flying by when I did this, more efficiently, less stress, all that stuff. And I still had more time for fun than I ever had before, more time for my list of goals and objectives. And there should not be a negative connotation on this list. You can have anything you want on your goals list, in the list of objectives, short term and long term. Long as they're positive and they're not affecting anyone, it's your list. You might want to become a better star watcher, stargazer, and get a telescope and start studying astronomy. Hey, someone else might not put that on their list, but you did, and guess what? It's fun. So some of your activities that you're plotting and planning can be fun as well, as long as it moves you forward. So that's my deal for today, man. Oh, one last thing I'd like to share with you guys. There's a list that I ran into some years ago, and it was a list, I don't know what they called it, but I was trying to get an A in all my classes in college, and I did some research, and I ran across this thing that was basically a cheat sheet, a condensed form of all the things I needed to do to get an A. What I've done for you in my book, and I'm going to offer you now just by going onto my site and going into the contact portion and say, please send me, here it is, my free 4.0 GPA cheat sheet, and I'll send it to you right away. It's free, man. What I'm doing here is basically building a relationship. We'll have each other's emails. You'll be able to contact me, and I'll be able to inform you and get you on a list that's not controlled by someone else. You know what I mean? We'll start our email relationship and take our relationship a step further. So I appreciate you guys. I hope this helped you out, and I hope to bring you more of this if it is working, and to enrich your life and help you make learning your legacy for not just you, but for generations to come. All right, you guys. Peace. Next time.